Hi, and thank you for the great question. So for this question, this is for Chapter 7, and it's the end of chapter exercises, question 72D, and they want us to write a balanced, complete ionic and net ionic equations for each reaction. So they give us the reaction here. I've rewritten it with the proper subscripts just so that it looks proper. And the first thing I want to do is make sure that it is balanced properly. So when I do my element counts, on the reactant side I have 1 nitrogen, I have 1 sodium, I have 1 chlorine, I have 5 hydrogens because I have 4 here plus 1 here gives me 5, and for oxygens I have 1. Over on the product side I have 1 nitrogen, 1 sodium, 1 chlorine. I have 5 hydrogens. 2 hydrogens plus 3 hydrogens give me 5 hydrogens and 1 oxygen. So by checking on the amount of atoms on each side, I see that we are balanced, so I don't need to add any coefficients to this equation. So my next job is to write a complete ionic equation. So first of all, I'm just going to give myself more room, so I'll be right back. There, hopefully that will give me a little bit more room. So when I'm doing my complete ionic equation, what I'm going to do is take each of these compounds and I'm going to break them apart into their ions. Now the only ones that I'm not going to break apart are my precipitates, and the precipitates are the compounds that aren't identified as aqueous. So that's going to be H2O because it's in liquid form, and NH3 because it's in gas form. So out of this reaction, water is going to precipitate as a liquid, and NH3 is going to precipitate as a gas. So that means I'm going to break apart all of the other aqueous ionic compounds. So to do that, I'm going to take NH4, and when I look it up on my polyatomic table, I see that it has it's a charge of +1, and that's going to be aqueous. And then chlorine is my next one, and on the periodic table it has a charge of -1. And then for NaOH, Na, sodium is in group 1, so it's going to be +1 with the aqueous. And then OH on my polyatomic ion chart has a charge of -1, and that's going to be aqueous. So that's my reactant side. And as I said, for my product side, I keep water together because it precipitates out. I also keep NH3 together because it precipitates out as a gas, so it bubbles up from this solution. And then NaCl, I'm going to separate these because they remain in aqueous form. So Na has a +1 aqueous, and chlorine is a -1 aqueous. So that's our complete ionic equation. And now for our net ionic equation, what we want to do is we want to just look at our precipitates, which is this H2O in liquid form and NH3 in gas form. So that's going to stay on the product side. And then I piece out the ions on this side that participate in this reaction. So NH4 and OH participate in creating these precipitates because chlorine's not involved in this and sodium's not involved with this either. So I bring those down. Whoops. It's supposed to be an N. So now I have NH4 plus aqueous plus OH negative aqueous, and that is my net ionic equation to finish off the question. So I hope that helps clarify how to do a question like this, and I thank you for sending it to me. Bye for now.